Hello everybody, my name is Laurencia Addison and I'm here to talk to you about my speech informative paper, which is the changing roles of women today in our society. As you know, the roles from back then for women and the roles now has changed dramatically. Women now work and have the right to vote and do everything that they couldn't do. Women were seen as child barriers and they were not allowed to do anything. They were only seen as women, they were only seen as people that could be caregivers and work the farms and take care of the children and teach them. They were not allowed to work as men were. But now, as you see, the roles have changed dramatically. Women now work. Women are becoming lawyers, doctors, everything. And the men are the same. But the pose of women working has increased, so now it leads more women to not be stay-at-home mothers and more of them are putting themselves into the workforce. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about how these changes have occurred. Women's rights are rights that were established the same social, economic, and political status for women as far as for men. Women's rights guarantee that women will not be faced discrimination on the basis of their sex. Until the second half of the 20th century, women in most societies were denied some legal and political rights according to men. Although women in much of the world have gained significant legal rights, many people believe that women still do not have complete political, economic, and social equality as men. Throughout much of history of Western civilization, women were limited to certain roles such as mothers, child bearers, homemaking, rather for involvement in the public life of business and politics. Widespread belief that women were intellectually inferior to men led to most societies to limit women's education to learning domestic skills and education. Women had it difficult in the mid-1800s and were treated very different from women now. Women now, you could say that women are experiencing a sense of financial freedom, economic power, and self-fulfillment greater than any other time in history. And this does not mean that there's a different shift between the men and women, because men are still higher up in the workforce than women, but women are working their way up. And now men and women can now share the same equal duties as how it was just limited to just women. My thesis statement for this paper was that the changing roles of women have led to women becoming more independent, changing the roles within the family, as in the woman is not the only person taking care of the children, but they are trading places. Women are now at work and men tend to be more stay-at-home fathers than women, because women want to feel the sense of freedom of becoming high in a working place. And there's a competition between the men and the women in the workforce, because every woman is trying to step their game up and step their way up in the ladder of economic freedom, while men are also striving for the same thing. So there's a social and economic strain over there, because women are trying to be in the same level as women, but women will still not be seen the same as men in certain situations, but we are working our way up there. Another way I would say women have gained more independence is that they demand more from their lives and choose how they want to live. Nowadays, women are generally treated equal to men, although some would argue that there is still a long way to go. They want to run their own lives and live how they want to live without being pigeonholed by the society. They have a greater expectation about what they want to acquire from life. Some still decide to be a stay-at-home mom, but in traditional sense, but they have more of a choice of what they want to do with their lives. The other point I made was the changing roles within the family. Women on average bring home almost as much as males. This means that there is a shared power in decisions, cooking, cleaning, and child raising responsibilities. And this also means that the men tend to stay home more and they have more time to play with their kids, pick up the kids from school, and have more bonding with their kids instead of being at work always. And then the last point, I also said that there's a competing work class with the men. As women are experiencing a sense of financial freedom and economic power, no longer are women prescribed a narrow path down domestic avenue. So with women potentially competing for jobs with their male peers and stepping into the societal limelight, the lines are being withdrawn in male-female relationship and marriages. This also can break up a marriage, because a lady is no longer seen as doing what a lady was considered to do back in the 1800s. Now she is doing what a man does. And this is all I have to say. I believe would be a good thing for will teach you more about how the roles of women have changed. And to sum it all up, I'll say the incredibly blossoming of economic power for women has paid by decades of civil rights struggle. Women have been through so much restriction is until they were finally granted the rights to hold the same equal status as men. Women now have the freedom to do what they please in the workforce and anything else they feel comfortable in, whether or not if it's becoming a stay-at-home mother or a mother who was to provide for her family. I hope you learned a lot from this video, and thank you a lot for watching this.